Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I want to talk about something I learned about recently. It's a really neat way to think about karma, and so I'm going to call it the karma ball, and I want you to have fun with this. And this karma ball, so I strongly believe in karma, and you might too. And this is the whole thing of, what you do, what you put out there is what comes back to you. This is karma. And when we think about this, most often we think of, what's happening when something is not so good. So that's the time that many people take to reflect on life or their experience or their time or whatever is happening, or their own or someone else's. And when we think about this, it's like, I know that person has not been good, and that, they deserve that. That's karma. And we have such pride and such assertiveness in thinking this. And karma is a truth. It's a law that happens and occurs, and this is the same as gravity. So karma is always accurate, is always just, and it's always based on truth. Now, karma could happen in this life if you think of many lives, or it could be as a result of many lives before us that is creating a karma today. And this is what we're experiencing, is the result of an action is karma. Action. Now, this result, so anything that happens in your life, I wanted to give you this idea of this karma ball. And we think that we are holding this ball of energy. So karma is an energy. We're holding this ball of energy. And we throw out the karma ball into the world, consciously or not consciously. It's through our thoughts, through our words, and through our actions. And so this is thrown out. What we notice is what comes back to us, what we notice. So sometimes we're consciously aware, and I hope more of us are becoming more consciously aware of what we're thinking, what we're speaking, what we're doing, how we're behaving. But most of the time we notice what others are doing to us, or what our life experience, the external things that are happening to us. And we say, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Or why is this happening for me? Because sometimes something really wonderful is happening. It's like, well, we want to take credit for that. So we'll give the ego the credit of, I did all the right studying, I talked to all the right people, I do all the right work, I've spoken, I've thought about it, I wish for it, I've prayed for it, I've meditated on this, and this is why this is happening. This is what my karma is, because I have done this. And this is interesting because, again, when something not good happens, not many people say, what have I done? Although some do. If we go into a guilt cycle, it's like, what did I do? How did this happen? And I must have done something. So that's a guilt cycle. And some people go into that. But oftentimes people think, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. I've tried to behave nicely. I've been kind. I've been considerate. If we understand that no matter what comes to us is because of something we have thrown out at some time, and if you have this karma ball and you throw it at a wall, or you throw it out into the universe, you know that it's going to hit lots of different places. So it just explodes. You just threw it out there and it explodes. But if it's hitting some sort of wall, it comes back. And whenever it hits that wall, it comes back exactly as you sent it. Now, the interesting thing is, let's say we throw it at a person. That's our karma. Our action is we're throwing something at a person. So it could be through a thought. I'm thinking this thought about that person. It could be through a word. I'm saying these words to a person. Or it could be a behavior. I'm doing this towards that person. This is my behavior towards that person. The exact same energy thrown at that is what comes back to us. And what's interesting is if it's at a person, we know that this person can catch the ball and throw it back to us. And it will likely be very much the energy that we've thrown out. It comes out exactly the way that we threw it. Yet, that's not in our control. How it's thrown back to us, how it comes back to us, how it's reflected back to us will come from the energy that it was received by. So I throw out anger, I get anger back at me. But let's say it's a very compassionate person that's on the other side of that receiving end. That person has an awareness of, this anger has been thrown at me. How do I throw this back, consciously or not consciously? Many people will react and say, boy, they were angry with me. I'm angry too, and will react with an angry comment back, or an angry action back, or some revenge, or revengeful thoughts even. If I could, I'd do this. But we always have the ability to change the karma we put out there. So let's say anger has been thrown at me, and if I recognize sometime in my history, this life or a previous life, I have thrown anger out, and that anger is coming back to me. If I look at this anger has come to me, I can take offense and I can be offended and react, or I can respond that, wow, this is anger. I am going to look at this anger with love and send back love in this direction. That's my intention. That's the ability that I have. I have control over my new karma. And remember this, that I have thrown out so many things in my whole life, and so have you. And maybe it's only one life that you're thinking of, and maybe you think of many lives. And when not good things happen, we can recognize I've done something. This soul has done something in this life or another life that is coming back at this time. And recognizing this and understanding it and throwing love out instead. Love, compassion, serenity, peace, helpfulness, integrity, honesty. All of that is good energies to receive anything not so good with. So someone has lied to you, feedback a truth. Someone has been rude to you, feedback kindness. And this is in our control right now, because in a time that someone throws out anger or frustration or rudeness, they're in a space that's not bringing the best of them out, and they're not able to see clearly of how to bring the best of themselves out. And this is something that a lot of people have forgotten, that this control we have right here, right now. Now, today, when something is thrown at me, and it is not kind, not considerate, not helpful, not pleasant, I can still throw back pleasant energy. I can smile and understand that this person is going through something. It's not shaking me up. It's definitely not a kind thing. I can understand it. That's an understanding is beautiful. I understand this energy. I understand that this is not a good energy that's coming towards me. And I have the chance in this moment to change my current karma by what I do, by what I think, what I speak, what I behave. This is my action. My words, my thoughts have huge power. And I'd like you to know that your thoughts have the most power. And you can know this because you can see people who do something really kind. Wouldn't you go to a restaurant sometimes and some waiter or waitress is so kind about pull out your chair and feature you serve you your food and read the menu so nicely, and in your mind you're kind of aware that I know this person wants a good tip from me, and they deserve it, because honestly, look at how much work they're doing to make sure that my experience is comfortable and beautiful. And then for the rest of the time, I'm thinking, oh yeah, they really wanted that tip. I mean, look at that tip that I gave them. Yeah, well, that was a big penny that I spent out of my pocket. Now I've even done a nice action. I've actually given a beautiful tip for work that was excellent. I thought that the service was excellent. But the rest of the day, I think, wow, they really took a lot from me. I can't believe it. Do you see what people are expecting out of tips these days? And boy, I give way more than anyone else. That karma is kind of undone with the full day of thinking about, boy, I sure gave them a lot. Full day of thinking, the thoughts have done a lot more work than that kindness of giving a high tip. And this is the thing, is even when people that we love do something very kind for us, and yet their thoughts are constantly about, I just don't know about this person. I'm just not, I think they need help. I think they're not going through a very good time. I think that they're not making good choices. All day, my thinking is this, but when I speak with them, it's like, you're doing the right things. It's really good. Just keep it up. You're doing really great. I know this is going to work out for you. All day you spend thinking about this is not so good, and why do such good things happen to that person even when they don't do good things? If those are the thoughts that are going through my head, that's my current karma created. And believe me, those thoughts, those words, those actions, behaviors come back to me in some way, in some form. So today I thought I'd just leave you with one quotation, because it kind of puts this idea together, to recognize this karma ball that we throw out, whether through our thoughts, whether through our words, whether through our behavior, and recognizing the thoughts are the ones that we put the most time into, consciously or not consciously. Whether for ourselves or for others, these are the thoughts that flow through our minds. These are the things that we put the most time and effort into. So this quotation says, when you plant a seed of love, it is you that blossoms. Ah, I love that. When you plant a seed of love, it is you that blossoms. And I just think that's so beautiful. And of course, I get emotional when I see these beautiful quotations because I just think there's so much truth to them. That what comes from us comes back to us. It will come from not necessarily the same person, the same environment, the same situation. It comes back. It comes back. And we might think that, oh, I must have done so much, not so good in my past lives. And lose yourself in that. And you just bring on more of that energy into your current experience. Because remember, now what your thoughts are about are all the things that have not been so good. Perhaps I've done something. Maybe I should go get a life reading. Do not do that, because you're just strengthening the thoughts, the words, the actions about things that are not so good. And the things that are good that you create right now creates your future destiny. Right now, you are creating the karmic balls that you're throwing out that you can look forward to receiving back, and they do come back. And sometimes one will come back right away. And sometimes it might take 10 years, and it doesn't matter because we're all throwing out a lot of karmic balls. And if we are planting seeds of love as we're throwing out our karmic balls, oh, it's ourselves that blossom. Let's not forget this. I wish you a ball with having fun with the karmic ball idea and recognizing that you have this within your power, your control, it's your blessing today. It's your ability to blossom today. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.